Domestic flight operations resumed in the country after a gap of 2 months. On Monday, all operations had ceased when the nationwide lockdown was imposed in March. India, with over 1.73 lakh cases, stands ninth in top 10 globally. Around 60.33 lakhs people have been infected with virus worldwide, and death toll at 3.66 lakhs. As many as 26.61 lakhs have recovered so far. This is the position as of today, morning 10 a.m. Today, that is 29th May. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has warned Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, Iran, Pakistan, and India about an invasion by the swarms of desert locust, which, according to it, going to be much worse than normal. Even as the military officials and the diplomats of India and China have been in touch, they could not yet diffuse the standoff along the line of actual control, that is LAC. These are the big news we'll be discussing today in my video. Hello friends, my name is Janardhan. Let's go to my video. I usually do videos on travel and tourism, and those who are not new to my channel, please subscribe to receive my latest videos and updates. Yes, today we are going to discuss about the latest updates which has happened last week. Domestic flight operation resumed in the country after a gap of 2 months on Monday. As you all know, flight operations had ceased when the nationwide lockdown was imposed in March. Delhi airport saw its first departure at 4:45 a.m. To Pune, while Mumbai first departure was at 6:45 a.m. to Patna, and Bangalore first flight was to Ranchi at 5:15 a.m. While most of the states announced IQ and HQ, IQ is nothing but institutional quarantine and HQ is home quarantine. Pregnant women, children 10 years and below, senior citizens 8 years and above, terminally ill patients were mostly exempted from IQ. Business flyers are exempted if they carry the COVID negative certificate issued by the ICMR lab. These are some of the changes which was brought, apart from the safety measures which was laid on as a SOP by the Ministry of Aviation. While Goa was slightly different, flyers with the COVID negative certificate will have to undergo a test for without a COVID negative certificate has to undergo a test for rupees 2,000 and home isolation till the results come. If they test positive, they will be admitted to a COVID hospital and their family will be kept in paid IQ. Mandatory 14-day home isolation for those who can't afford the test. A total of 1,65,000 people have travelled through 1,827 domestic flights between Monday and Thursday. This means average 450 flights a day being operated in India post relaxation. Let us see how this is going to change in coming days. Yes, hopefully this should change, because if it doesn't change, then we are not moving forward. Around 16 symptomatic passengers were found with COVID positive. There's a little worrying factor, but that is the way the life going to be. Anyway, the good news in that is that India will try to resume a good percentage of international flights as early as mid to end June if the SARS-CoV-2 virus behaves a predictable manner as per Civil Aviation Ministry. Now lockdown 5. Yes, in next 2 days we are going to end the lockdown 4, and lockdown 5 is expected. As the month May draws to a close, India is looking to enter phase 5 of its nationwide lockdown. The country first imposed restrictions on movement of people and sale of non-essential items on March 24th. Since then, restrictions have gradually eased across the country, except in containment zones. Well, the government is yet to issue guidelines for lockdown 5. Here is what is expected. Air services. More travel routes are likely to open in lockdown 5. The decision will be left with operators depending on demand. The last week, the demand for non-metro routes surprisingly was significantly higher than metro. This could be the migrant workers who are stranded, who want to go to their villages or the native places. Train services until May 28th 3,736 trains transported some 50 lakh stranded workers via Shramik special trains. Around 40% of these trains ferried laborers from Gujarat and Maharashtra to Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These were the trains which was operated to send the migrant workers to their respective native places. From June, the railway is looking to begin operating 100 pairs of mail/express trains. Mail, it could be mail or express train, or it could be both. Bookings for which I think it's already begun. So after this, the next set of train is service likely to have AC class as well. So that's what they're looking at. They're looking at initially mail and normal express trains, then subsequently with AC class services. Intra-state buses and metro services are also looking or expected to start from June 1. In fact, some of the states have already started, so they're looking at full-fledged service of other states as well. So this could be like begin in the limited manner with lesser capacity, social distancing, longer stops at each station, etc. So there could be a lot of limitations once when the service resumes. Shops, markets, malls. Lockdown 5 could see more shops opening, even those in markets. There's no word on yet shopping malls. There is still talk going on. It has not been finalized as yet, but discussions are on. Many shops that have reopened in market areas are operating an odd even basis. That's like every alternate days shops will be open. Yes, the most expected gym, movie theaters, religious places, salons. So far, gyms, theaters, and religious places have been asked to remain closed. However, in some places, salons are open with a lot of restrictions in terms of social distancing and safety measures, things like that. Schools, the HRD ministry is working on guidelines for when schools to open. So more schools to reopen. More likely, it may not happen in the lockdown 5. So maybe we have to wait till end of June or mid of July. So there are guidelines they are working out. This could include older children of class 9, 10, 11 and 12. They'll start with initially they'll start with this standard of school children's, then kind of compulsory mask, social distancing, frequent sanitization of classrooms, prohibition of morning assemblies, etc. These are the certain things. These are some of the things they could may remove it for some time. Meaning that morning assemblies they might remove it for some time, but other things like mask, social distancing, frequent sanitation of classrooms, etc., would be taken on a serious note, which the schools have to do that on a frequent basis. India, with over 1,73,000 cases, stands 9th in top 10. It's very sad, but then with this kind of huge population, we are still okay compared to other countries. Over 60.33 lakhs people have been infected with virus worldwide, with death toll of 3.66 lakhs. As many as 26.61 lakhs people have been recovered so far. So there's a little bit of a positive feeler that some people, most of the people are getting recovered. So between 60 lakhs and 26 lakhs, the ratio is really good. So it's like slightly more than 40% to 50% is the recovery rate. That's good. The Gujarat High Court on Friday said there was no need to take the state government's permission before conducting COVID-19 tests at private laboratories before emergency procedures, which otherwise done by government or government recognized lab. This means all this while the private labs or private hospitals are not allowed to do a COVID-19 test. However, with this High Court ruling, it can be done outside also. So this means testing will be made convenient for people who wanting to test themselves by visiting any private labs. It's a little funny, but then very sensitive thing. Monkeys grabbed and flued with the blood samples of 4 COVID-19 patients who are undergoing treatment in Meerut. Little disturbing though, but then that's how things are. So we have to live with that. The second thing is the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has warned Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia, Iran, Pakistan, and India about an invasion by the swarms of desert locusts, which according to it is going to be much worse than normal. One more headache for the country which is already facing problems and difficulty with COVID-19. This desert locust particularly is very, very dangerous, which you might be hearing it very often at the moment in the news channels. As per one of the leading newspaper, in the event of a locust attack, farmers are advised to collectively beat loud drums, tin containers, utensils, and use loudspeakers to prevent locusts from descending on farms and damaging crops. This basically, the sound will create a kind of attention to these swamps, the locusts, which can fly away with the fear of this noise. There are no information regarding the entry of any locust swarm from India. To India from Pakistan border areas. People were feeling that it could enter from there, but there's no evidence as such. However, it entered from Ganganagar district of Rajasthan on Wednesday, that is 2 days back. It is believed it could affect some parts of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. This will be the worst effect after 1992. In fact, once in 1992 this happened. There's one which is happening now is next to that, and this is also one similar to that of 1992. India-China face-off. On 10th May, the Indian media broke the news about scuffles between Indian and Chinese soldiers on the north bank of Pangong Tso on the night of 5th to 6th May and at Nakula in North Sikkim on 9th May. This is very, very serious and very sensitive things which is happening at the border. This is not so great for India. However, we have to see how India is handling this situation. The likely military aim of China is to stop the development of our border infrastructure in Ladakh that threatens Aksai Chin and National Highway, that is NH 219, particularly in Galwan, Hot Springs, and Pangong Tso sectors, and depending on our reaction, to be prepared for a limited border skirmish. It is generally said the starting point of any conflict between two nations is the political aim. Military actions are merely the means to achieve the aim. So this is the background is nothing but a politically motivated move. China is extremely suspicious of India. It believes that in the long term, India's strategic aim is to restore the status quo and 1950 by recovering Aksai Chin and other areas captured or secured by China. So this is actually the worrisome for China. That is why they are actually wanting to show their muscle power now and then. India's alignment with US, presence of Tibetan government in exile in India, and the aggressive claims on Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and the Gilgit-Baltistan, through which the prestigious China-Pakistan economic corridor passes, only strengthen China's suspicion. Look at the kind of support we are having at the moment. So this is actually increasing the suspicion of China over India, that India might take over or might wanting to take what it lost in 1950. Mr. Trump on Wednesday offered to mediate or arbitrate the raging border dispute between India and China. However, both China and India rejected it, saying it's an internal matter and we will handle this. This is a good thing. Instead of allowing a third party to enter, it's better we solve ourselves. Nepal U-turn on the border dispute raised against India. Unofficially, we all know who is responsible for this action of Nepal at the moment. Oli should learn from experience of Pakistan. Oli is the Prime Minister of Nepal. He should learn from the experience of Pakistan. Pakistan is a de facto colony of China, and yet it could not prevent India repealing Article 370 or staging Uri or Balakot. Oli has no choice but to make up with India. This is a U-turn completely. Nepal took it starting from Monday till today, just took a U-turn, changed its map, then it did not pass it in the parliament. So all these things, like it's a complete U-turn by Nepal government to show the strength of India. I mean, this is what India stands when it comes to neighbors. The one more simple thing, not simple thing, one more little serious, but then out of focus kind of subject which I just want to put it across, is South China Sea. The trade war fallout from COVID-19 and increased military activity raised the risk of conflict between United States and China, the South China Sea. What is that? It is really happening there. What is the South China Sea is all about? One of the leading news agencies say the risk of a military confrontation in South China Sea involving the United States and China could rise significantly in the next 18 months, particularly if the relationship continues to deteriorate as a result of ongoing trade frictions and recriminations over the novel coronavirus pandemic. Now let's see what is this South China Sea. The sea carries tremendous strategic importance. 1/3 of the world's shipping passes through it, carrying over $3 trillion in trade each year. Huge oil and gas reserves are believed to lie beneath its seabed. Now you can understand why these countries are fighting for this piece of sea. The US Navy has 2 new ships operating in the South China Sea to send a message to China. That means US has already placed 2 naval ships to show its strength on China. Australian warship has joined US Navy ship, and they also stationed a ship there again to show their strength along with US. Apart from this US and Australia, there are also countries which is fighting like Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, of course Japan also, which lost this territory during the Second World War to China. Now, the reason behind these countries talking or raising issues on the South China is basically it has a huge potential beneath its seabed. So that could really take care of a lot of lot of trade offs with these countries if they win or if they take over. Of course, the days come. The days will tell what is going to happen. But then at the moment, there's going to be a war kind of a situation at this sea presently, with all the countries eyeing for this piece of sea. Okay, friends, bye and take care. Stay safe and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share. Of course, your each share will encourage me to make more such videos. Okay, friends, thank you. Bye. Stay safe. Stay good.